Hello and welcome back to my channel. Hi guys, I'm back in Canada. This is Emma from Perfumerism, and today we're going to be ranking fragrance brands by their bottles. This is going to be obviously a very subjective video. This is my taste. This is the fragrances that have bottles that make me want to buy them versus fragrances that make me not want to buy them. I think bottles and packaging is very important when it comes to fragrances, and everyone has different tastes. I have a lot of these bottles. A lot of them are sitting right beside me, so I'll show them to you. And yeah, this is just going to be my taste, but I really want to hear what you guys think. You are watching my channel, but I'm not trying to prescribe my opinions onto you. I just want to get talking and see what you guys think. And I have a few little theories about fragrances and bottles and people's perception of what looks expensive or not. So I think I'm going to talk about that in this video, and I really want to facilitate discussion and what is a good looking bottle versus a not good looking bottle. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. If you're new to my channel, my name is Emma. I'm a Canadian. I'm studying fragrance at ISIPCA. Here on this channel, we talk about fragrances, hot topics in the fragrance world, new launches. I also wanted to mention the Sephora sale is coming up. Recently, I posted this video called The Best Signature Scents. This is actually a video about my favorite signature scents at Sephora. So if you are looking for a signature scent and you want something from Sephora for the upcoming sale, we have that here. And hopefully I will get you another video this week about my favorite overall body care products, scents, everything like that. I know it's coming up November 1st. And now that I'm home, I have more time for content. Anyways, let's get into it. All right, so let's go over the tiers we have. So first of all, the top tier says, put it in the Louvre. This tier is for fragrance bottles that I think are beautiful, like works of art. These are my top tier, the most beautiful. One that I would actually, even if the fragrances don't smell that good, I might be inclined to purchase because the bottles are so pretty. Those are my favorites. Then we have Chic Cute or whatever. I like that. Like, okay, like good. Not Louvre quality, but I like it. You're cute. Then we have Not a Love, but a Like. So this is still a positive one. Not a Love, but a Like. Now the next one is I might hesitate to buy this because of the bottle. So these are ones where the bottles, not really my favorite. Finally, we have Atrocious. So these are bottles that I personally find to be atrocious. Even if I liked the fragrance, I think the bottle is like not really for me. So the first ones that we have are the Armani Privé collection. This is the Armani Privé bottles. These are specifically the Precious Earth. This one is malachite, so it's supposed to be the red stone, and I think that these bottles are stunning. I think this is so pretty. I love the look on the rock on the top. It feels expensive. I like the sprayer. I think that this is a gorgeous fragrance bottle. So this is the other bottle. I think is very, very pretty, but shake it up, glittery. Are you kidding me? The suspended glitter in the fragrance, put it in the Louvre. This is my favorite bottles. They're so me, and they also have some of my favorite fragrances ever. So life-changing. These bottles are so pretty. So I get a lot of questions about the Swan and Nacra. The glitter is suspended in the fragrance, but it doesn't get on your skin. It's not gonna mess up your clothes or anything. It's just in the fragrance, and it's designed to be that way. I think these are absolutely stunning, gorgeous. Armani Beauty. Armani gets a 10 out of 10 for me, million out of 10. Put it in the Louvre. All right, let's move along. Next up, we have a Parfum de Marly. This is Parfum de Marly Delina here, and I have to say this is another one of my favorite perfumes, and it's kind of hard not to be biased about like fragrances I like versus fragrances I like the bottles of. I personally think Delina is one of the prettiest bottles. I think the tassels are gorgeous. I love that it kind of has this feminine curve shape. I don't like the see-through bottles as much, so Valaya, Palatine, Delina La Rosée. The only thing that I don't like about these bottles is the fact that the base is not, it's kind of rounded at the base. So this one is a little more prone to tipping. If you have this sitting down and you go to grab it, you have to be very careful because you could tip it over quite easily. And I don't like that. I don't want bottles to be finicky at all. So this is one where I'm kind of stuck between put it in the Louvre or Chic Cute or whatever. But I think I'll put Chic Cute or whatever because I think the bottles are gorgeous. I think they're so, so pretty. I love how there's a gem at the top. They have a gem at the top. I love all the little horse detailing. I just think it's the most stunning bottle. Beautiful bottles, so pretty, so attractive to my eyes, but I just wish that the functionality, I wish that they were stable. Next up, we have the Guerlain bottles. This is my bottle of Angelique Noir by Guerlain. So this bottle was actually designed by Napoleon. They used to have these fragrances in different bottles that were like completely gold with a different kind of sprayer, but this one is, yeah, it's more square. There's a bee at the back. There's also a top, and they're customizable too. So you can customize the top as well as the tassels that you have here. That's all customizable components, which I think is really cool. I really like these bottles. I don't look at this and think this is a piece of art, like put it in the Louvre, but I think it's a really pretty bottle. I think it looks expensive. I like the details in the glass with the bee. When they first came out, I wasn't actually like super in love with the way that they looked, but they've really grown on me, and I think they're some of my favorite bottles. I will say chic, cute, or whatever. Next up we have their bee bottles. So this one is the Aqua Allegoria fragrances. This is specifically the Aqua Allegoria Forte. This is again another kind of iteration of the bee. They have some better bee bottles, but I still think this one's really cute. So I'm gonna say chic, cute, or whatever. They could be put it in a Louvre. You know what, maybe this one will go to put it in the Louvre. Not specifically this one, but some other bottles are really pretty. Next up we have Replica from Maison Margiela. This is the Replica bottles. I think these are super cute. They're very plain. They don't come with lids, and the sprayers are very, I don't know, like almost old. It makes me think of an antique. And generally the customization comes with the label here where they'll tell you description of the scent, a time period where it would be from, country where it would be from. Really like these bottles. I think that there's a reason that they're popular, and I think the packaging is part of the reason that they're popular. I think these kind of have like a Le Labo feel where they're not kitschy, but they are. They're kitschy because they're not, you know, it's not trying super hard to get your attention. It's just a label. I think it really works. It really works, and I think that they're pretty. It feels wrong to put it on the same level of Delina. I think that Delina would be higher. This would definitely be like, maybe not a love, but a like. Okay, I'll put it here. Okay, next up we have the Maker, which I think has really cute bottles. If you don't know this brand, they have them in Sephora Canada and Sephora US. I really like their packaging. I think it's super cute. I love the, I don't know, you call that crenulated glass? No, I like the shape of the bottles. I like that it's decently heavy. There's a metallic kind of rustic lid that I like. They're kind of unisex, feminine, but these masculine components. I really like these bottles. They're probably some of my favorites. So I'll put them in chic, cute, or whatever. Next up we have Liquide Imaginaire, which I think is going to be very, I don't know, controversial. Now these bottles look really big because they have the really tall like lid component, and there's also this fun thing where you can spray the fragrance in on top of the lid and then light the lid on fire, and then the alcohol will burn off and you'll just have the fragrance oil, and then you can put the oil on. So I do think that it's cute that there's, you know, multi-functions, but I think it's really ugly. I don't like the flared lid. So I'm gonna say I might hesitate to buy. Okay, next up we have Toka, which is similar to the Maker, where it has the kind of like ridges on the glass. Because I feel similar about Replica. I always wanted to buy a Toka fragrance because they're so pretty. I actually wore one of them to prom in high school. So I'll say chic, cute, or whatever, because I think they're super cute. Next up we have Regime de Fleur, which is kind of similar to like how Rare Beauty shapes their product. They look curved, but it's actually curved on one side and flat on the back. Label looks like a shield, I think is cool. I like the ball as the lid. So overall, I'm quite happy with that. Chic, cute, or whatever. I like them. Next up we have Mind Games, which I have one right here, and these bottles are interesting. So this is specifically Blockade. These are all inspired by chess. So obviously we have a knight on the top. There's kind of this wooden board kind of thing here. They're very heavy. The lid you have to pull off, and it's a completely metal component here. It says Mind Games here. So there's a lot happening on the bottle, but there's a lot of glass underneath where you can see that the fragrance ends here, and then this is just thick glass. So it's very heavy. It's a chunky bottle. I don't like it that much. I might hesitate to buy it. Don't love the bottles. Next up we have Kayali, which is a huge, super popular brand. I'm gonna say not a love, but a like you're not buying a Kayali for the bottle. No, it does its job where it's just nice enough, doesn't stand out too much, not offensive. I don't know. I know some people don't like them, and I also think they're customizable. You know, you can have this to be clear like Vanilla 28. You can have it to be frost or completely matte like for the pistachio one. Lonnie's going crazy. Anyways, they're not pushing me to go smell them. Okay, next up we have Hermes, which I think is going to be a bit of a hot take, but I don't like these bottles. I'm not interested. I'm so bored. I'm always really bored when I see the Hermes bottles. I've never wanted to buy any because I think the bottles are kind of like, they're not ugly. They're just really boring. Yeah, I say I might hesitate to buy. No, yeah, and I don't really like that one is on its side. I just don't like that. Next up we have Maison Micallef, which that's atrocious. It's like cute, ugly, but that's atrocious. Like you can't tell me, like what were you thinking when you made that is my thoughts. Next up we have Serge Lutens, which I also don't really like. I don't really think they're that cute. I don't know. I get it, there's history, there's ancestry. I just don't love a Serge Lutens bottle. And I bought one that's this bell bottle, and it took me 3 hours to open this. I gave you $300 and you couldn't even get me an atomizer. I'm a bit upset, but I do think objectively this is very beautiful, and I did sort of buy it for the packaging, but now I have beef because it took me 3 hours to open this, and so I'm like, I just don't think it should have been that difficult. Next up we have the Bella bottles, which I have right here. These are all oil-based, so you have to shake them up. I think they're kind of pretty. They're like if Mugler, Angel, or Alien had an egg. But the one thing I don't like about this is they lay flat. I don't like that it lays flat. I wish it would stand up. I want my bottles to stand up. I don't like that it lays flat, so might hesitate to buy. Fragrance Du Bois, I always hesitated on because I thought the font was ugly. I'm sorry, Demi Rowling, not you, your handwriting is fine, but I always thought the font was really ugly. And whenever I saw people showing these, and it's like, this is like a $500 perfume, why is the font so offensive? Like, it's just horrible. And obviously, like, there's a lot of really expensive looking components. This looks like an expensive bottle, but I thought the font was just a little aggressive and kind of off-putting. So I might hesitate to buy, even though I actually are some of my favorite perfumes. The bottles did originally kind of put me off. I don't know, I think it's just the font. It's the font for me. Next up we have Penhaligon's, and this is their traditional collection, which to me is just the epitome of what, like if you were to make a perfume and say, you know, make a perfume that looks British, that is Penhaligon's. Especially this one with the bows, like it just looks like it would be from the Queen, and I know that's the kind of the lineage of the brand, and it's the heritage, and that's what they do. But the British monarchy doesn't, I don't see myself in that. That doesn't resonate with me on a personal level. So when I see Penhaligon's, it just seems like snobby, I guess. I don't know, like not really, but I just don't see myself in Penhaligon's as a brand. And not to say that I don't like their fragrances, like I very much like a lot of their fragrances, but the bottles, I just feel like they've kind of put me off a little bit. I want to get this very clear. This has nothing to do with my thoughts on the actual fragrances. This is just my thoughts on the bottles, because Penhaligon's, love their fragrances. Like this one's the favorite, love the favorite. I just don't love the bottles. Next up we have Creed. Creed, I'm gonna say not a love, but a like, even though it's very different from Kayali. Like it looks expensive to me. Like it looks like an expensive bottle, but I don't love them. So they're just kind of meh. The next one that we have is from Hermes, and it is their like fancy collection. And this one I actually do think is really cute. They have, okay, I'm gonna say not a love, but a like, because I still have never been urged to buy them, but I still think they're very cute. I just think if it's Hermes and Hermes prices, maybe give me more. Same thing with Tom Ford, not a love, but a like. It's just, they're okay. They're fine. They're okay. They're neither here nor there for me. Like sometimes I like them, sometimes I don't. Next up we have Le Labo, which is also not a love but a like. Like I see what they're doing. They're a little bit rustic, a little bit stripped down, very like, I don't really care about what I'm putting on, but then it's still very luxurious and, you know, intentional, but it seems like they're trying not to care. So I see what they're doing, but I'm not a big Le Labo person. I haven't. Then we have Parfum de Marly, their men's fragrances, which are like this. I think these almost remind me a little bit of Creed, like something about the kind of triangular. I don't know, I really like the Parfum de Marly bottles. I think I like how they all seem uniform but customized. That said, I am ranking the masculine bottles, and I personally, again, like don't see myself in this, like a bottle that's horses and it's clearly very much for men, or like it's unisex. But next up we have Comme des Garçons, which I don't have any, but this one was highly requested to be in this video. I think these kind of look like vapes a little bit, like those like mods that people have. I think you need stands to hold these up, which again, not my favorite, so I would definitely hesitate to buy. All right, next up we have Diptyque, which is insane. You guys know Diptyque is gonna go in the Louvre. Their bottles are so pretty, and they just did a new collection that is somehow like a million times prettier, and I don't know how they made their bottles even prettier. Literally anything Diptyque is the most gorgeous. Like their arts, their craftsmanship is so pretty, their glasswork. This is their Fleur de Peau Eau de Toilette. I just love the little Diptyque. I love their font. I love the art. I love the art when you turn around the back. There's so much intent going on the lids, and like even back before there was a Diptyque fragrance that I ever found that I liked, I still would constantly go to the Diptyque stores. I was constantly drawn in. I would smell everything even before I ever liked anything from them, because I wanted to, because the packaging was so good. So 10 out of 10, put it in the Louvre. I think they're very, very pretty. I really, really like the packaging. Next up we have Penhaligon's, and this is their, I don't know the name of the portraits collection, I think, which has the animals on the top, and I just think it's atrocious. I can't do the animal on the top. I don't know why, but it's not me. Next up we have Louis Vuitton, which I don't own any fragrances from Louis Vuitton. I really wish I did. They're so pricey and so exclusive and hard to find, but I think their bottles are super pretty. I like that they all look uniform, like, but you can tell which fragrance is which because they color their juices, which gives them all distinct identities. You know what I mean? So like, I'll get into this when I talk about Byredo, but I like that they have like a distinct, maybe She Cute or whatever, just because I don't have any of them, even though I do think that they're very, very pretty. Next up we have Byredo, which I love Byredo bottles. I think they look so good. I like that the bottle feels like you're getting juice. Like, one thing that I like when it comes to bottles is, you know, like the Mind Games one that I showed you, where this has a huge part of it that's just glass. Like, I don't like that. I want it to feel like I'm getting all juice. Byredo is all the juice and then a small top, you know, which I think is good. It's very like fragrance focused. It's also white, which I'll get into that when I talk about this one other brand. But if you're going to choose a color for your fragrance brand, for example, like Anisio has this purple. So all their fragrances are this purple color, but we have biases and perceptions based on scent when it comes to color. So for example, I'll bring this up now because it ties in, but this brand Thameen, which I have one fragrance, but it's not a good example, but Thameen, their bottles are all blue. Everything is blue. And if you've ever smelled, if you're into fragrance, even like remotely, you know that when you think of a fragrance that has the color blue, what do you think it's gonna smell like? That it's blue. Like, there's literally a category of fragrances called blue fragrances. Like masculine but fresh, maybe oceanic, shower gel, maybe a little citrusy. And so Thameen, making all their fragrances this blue color, hurts my brain because it makes me think that all their fragrances are gonna smell like that. The branding, like the name is really small and discreet, so you have to get really close to see which one's which. And so if there's ever a Thameen fragrance that I hear about, I mix them up because they all are just blue. You know what I mean? And so I just feel like it's good to be homogenous. It's good to have all your bottles look the same, but it's nice to mix them up. For example, like these two are clearly made by the same brand and they're from the same, well, they're actually from different collections, but like they're the same shape, they're the same, but this one is from the Earth. It's actually a limited edition. They look different enough that like you see this and you're like, oh, this is green, so it might smell this. And like they add color in here and there to help you kind of identify we are going into a different world with each of the different fragrances while still being, you know, close to the identity of the brand, and you can still identify, you know, where they're from. So all is that to say is the Thameen, I don't like the blue. It doesn't work for me. I think the bottles are ugly and I think it's kind of hard to navigate which fragrance is which because they all look the same. So it's not actually atrocious, but for me it is in the bottom category. So sorry. My categories, don't take them too seriously. Like, for example, put it in the Louvre. Like, you wouldn't go into the Louvre and see a bottle of Diptyque, like, but like, they're my favorite. So yeah, Byredo is what I was saying is they are a little monotone for me, but at least the colors that they went with are black and white, which don't particularly have any prescriptive, you know, like blue has a connotation scent wise. Black and white don't necessarily. Like, I do find them hard to navigate, like which scent is which, because every time I hear about a Byredo fragrance, then I go to the Byredo booth and they all look the same. Sometimes it's like, which fragrance, what did someone say smelled like this? Like, which fragrance was I looking for again? Like, it's kind of harder to decipher because they all look the same, but I still think they're pretty. Like, my background on my YouTube is Byredo fragrances, so I think they're really pretty. So I'm gonna say She Cute or whatever. Next up, we have Xerjoff, which I do feel like I like Xerjoff better than the fragrances at the bottom, but I think this bottle specifically is atrocious. And there are some Xerjoffs that I like. For example, the like Neo or Naxos bottles I think are really pretty. They'd be in the hesitate to buy maybe, or the not a love but a like, but this one I specifically think is particularly atrocious, and I think a lot of their special editions are kind of not that pretty. Same thing with Mugler. I don't really like the star. It exists, it's there, it's not resonating with me. Next up we have Dead Cool, which I think is super cute. I just think this is nice because again, it's not trying so hard. I think the barcode is kind of cute and it doesn't feel super kitschy. Like, it's just, we're giving you a fragrance and that's what we're giving you, and I kind of like that. Like, big fan of Dead Cool, so I'm gonna say She Cute, even though it's not like beautiful. I don't know why, but I like it. Next up we have Micallef again. This is their bottles that I think are super pretty. They have passion and glamour. I don't know, it just reminds me of like a gate to a secret garden. Put it in the Louvre. I don't know, but some of the Micallef bottles are so ugly, but this line in particular I think is really cute. I'm gonna say put it in the Louvre. I think it's really pretty. Next up we have Anisio, which like I said here, I like the bottles for Anisio. I think they're nice. Again, purple, like I do struggle with them all being purple. I know they're not all purple, but like I do struggle with the color purple just because I think their fragrances don't always smell purple, which struggles to me sometimes. But I still think they're really cute. So I'm gonna say I guess not a love but a like, but some of them are a love. Okay, next up we have Seven Virtues. This is the Amber Vanilla fragrance. So generally they'll have a top here with the 7 virtues, and then if you turn them around, they have information about the sourcing of the raw materials, as well as what the fragrance does. And they do have mood boosting qualities of their fragrances, which I think is cool. So it'll tell you what your fragrance does. You know when you get a watch and then if you were to take it off and you look at the back of the face and you can see something happening? I like that this kind of has that, where you can like turn it around, there's something going on in the back. I don't know, I just like really like that touch. So I think of all the fragrances, they're kind of like neutral, but I think they're cute. So next up we have Sniff, which this one is actually No Noses Inc., which is Sniff's secret menu. It's Sniff. I like the magnetic lid. I like this packaging. I think it's really simple and like cute, and I love the magnetic lid. It works so well. I just think that's the best packet, like the best. If this didn't have a magnetic lid, it would be a completely different story, but there's something nice about like touching and holding it, and the lids are so like the magnets are strong, which I really like. So like I don't look at Sniff's bottles and go, wow, that is a really like beautiful piece of material right there, but I think it is nice. So next up we have Maison Crivelli, which I think, again, not a love but a like. I do think that they do well in terms of, again, implementing color, and their fonts I think are good, but again, there's something about the way that the cap fits on the bottle which I don't love, which is a little picky of me. But again, the bottles, I think they're good. Not a love but a like. Mise en Cire, same. Not a love but a like. I don't know, they're just fine. They're just Mise en Cire. Next up we have Fleur. I don't know, I think they're cute. They're not like, again, there's not too much happening with them, but I think that that's good, you know. It's not kitschy, I guess. So yeah, not a love but a like. Next up we have Kilian. I can see this being ugly, but I'm always drawn toward it because I like the fact that it's inspired by Kilian Hennessy, and the fact that it's kind of a tie-in to the liquor world and the fragrances being cocktails. I think it's kind of cute. So I'm gonna say the Kilian bottles are cute. Atelier des Ors is put it in the Louvre. Atelier des Ors, especially the new Blue Madeleine one, or Lune Feline, like putting gold flakes in your bottle. I think the bottles are really pretty. So then we have Love Shack Fancy, which I think are the ugliest effing bottles. So there's something that like sensorially I really don't like about this bottle. It has a plastic lid that is super plastic and fake feeling. It feels like I could just touch it and it would break. It doesn't fit really well on the bottle, so it's just a pain. And there's something like, there's a texture that feels like someone put stickers on the bottle here. Like it feels like someone, like each of these flowers are individual stickers that could just peel off. I don't like this. It's not ugly, but it's atrocious. It's not actually atrocious, but like it's gonna be in the atrocious category for me. This is the most atrocious of them all, Bon No. 9. The most atrocious. It is offensive. I even looked up, like I googled Bon No. 9 bottles and it was an eyesore. I could not, like these are the ugliest bottles, and they feel so cheap too. Like the lid is all that cheap glass, so really don't like the bottles. They don't resonate with me and I think they're ugly. I'm sorry. Charlotte Tilbury, again, kind of ugly. I don't like the horned top like that. I think it's a little ugly. And also I have a video in my drafts about this fragrance launch because I think it's a good case study on what not to do with fragrance launches and what makes fragrances successful versus what makes them flop. And I think this is a good example of an unsuccessful fragrance launch. Like I don't know any data or statistics from a numbers perspective as to like whether or not it was actually a successful launch, but I think it's ugly. And from being a content creator and seeing what people are talking about and having people request to like have me review things, I don't think it's a very successful launch. Just my thoughts. I don't think the bottle's very cute, but there's like more reasoning that I can get into about that. Amouage, I think beautiful. I love the Amouage bottles. I have this one, Guidance right here. I think the bottles are super cute. Again, magnetic lid. They have a thing on the top and it's stable. It's not going to fall over. I just think this is a really pretty bottle. This looks expensive and it's just so cute, and I love the way that they use color. So big fan of Amouage. Next up we have Pear Noir, which will also go in the Louvre. I think it's so cute. It's like dark and mysterious, and if I were to go on a date with a guy and then find this in his bathroom or like in his bedroom, I'd be like more interested. I'd be like, and I've not even hardly smelled any of the Pear Noirs. I just think the bottles are so cool and like mysterious. So big fan. Next up we have Good Girl, which I think is cute. A lot of people hate this. A lot of people think it's atrocious. You know what? Actually, maybe not a love but a like. it's cute to me. I don't think it's horrible. A lot of people hate it. It's a very divisive fragrance. I don't hate it. Then we have Cacharel, which is definitely atrocious. It's funny, I heard from someone that Cacharel fragrances, like based on consumer studies, have been voted really highly in terms of like their fragrances are really good. Like people love Cacharel fragrances, but they don't know that they like Cacharel fragrances because they don't like the bottles. And so these don't, I've noticed these don't sell very well. Like back when I sold them at work, no one would want Cacharel. Even if I'd go and spray it for Cacharel and give it to someone and they'd be like, that's so good, what is it? And then I'd show them the bottle and they'd be like, okay. I think there's something about these bottles that doesn't resonate with people. I don't know. Now we have the new Rabanne Fine Fragrance line, which I think is so cute. Put it in the Louvre. Again, maybe not the cutest, but I love the gold on the side. I love that it's kind of like wearing a choker necklace. I think they look so expensive and so cute. I've never even tried them, but I just think they look really cute. Next up we have Wilhelm Perfumery. I have my bottle of Dear Polly right here. You have to like yellow. And I think there's another thing about like, again, if you're choosing a color, not all of their fragrances smell this color. And fragrances like Morning Chest, which smells like Creed Aventus, people who want to wear Creed Aventus might not want to have a bright yellow fragrance they reach to every single day. I think their packaging is really cute. I like the fact that they have so much work in the glass. So I think that it's cute. I think it's, yeah, she's cute or whatever. Next up we have a Caron, which is a very fancy brand, but I don't think their bottles are cute. I don't know why. I saw them at the store and I was like, I'm just not interested in smelling them. I don't like that it has the like notch that you can pull the top off. And I'm looking at it here and it looks expensive, but I think that's part of the photography. Like when I saw it in person, I was kind of like, I don't really think it's for me. Next up we have Frederic Malle, which I like Frederic Malle. I think they are cute. Maybe I don't know. She's cute because it feels like you're getting a perfume that's made by perfume people to be a perfume. Like it's not like to be a perfume. Like they're not selling you a bottle. They're selling you a fine fragrance. And that's how it feels. Like you're just getting, it feels very professional, very like work, like not corporate, but like sort of like if you were to work in a perfume house and then stumble across a sample of a fine fragrance, like it feels like that's what you're getting. Oh, Fugazi, which I have right here. I think their bottles are super cute. There's not too much happening, but I like the shape of this. I think it's unique. And again, like there's just not too much happening. And I like that the bottle slides really nice. I really, really like the bottles of these. So I'm gonna say she cute. It's not like Louvre worthy, but I like it. I think Billie Eilish's fragrance is atrocious. And part of that is just the way that it opens. I don't like the way that it looks when it's open. I don't like the lid. It feels really cheap. Like there's just something I don't like about the feeling and the function of this bottle. I see what's happening, but I just don't like it. Next up we have the Chloe Atelier, which I think are super pretty. You can see a theme with me with the glass, but I'm definitely super attracted to the way these bottles look. I love the font and I think it looks really pretty. Valentino fragrances I think are cute. I'm gonna say she cute or whatever because again, Valentino fragrances, love. I think it's so cute. Daisy I think is cute as well. It's definitely one that I recommend giving as a gift because a lot of people love the packaging. I think it's super cute. The new Daisy Wow that has the stem in it is especially gorgeous. One especially is like, put it in the Louvre, fave. Jo Malone, not a love but a like. Again, neutral, basic, looks expensive, but not like, you know what? I'll say she's cute. Jo Malone's cute. Gucci, I think, is cute as well. Very, very floral, but I think they're cute. They always are eye-catching. Xerjoff, not a little bit like. The Cosmarati line, specifically. A lot of people say it looks like torsos. I don't know if I see that. Not a little bit like. House of Beau, put it in the Louvre. I don't own any fragrances from them, but I'll show you the variety of fragrances. They actually changed the top instead of changing the bottom, and they all look like they're made of different rocks. I think that's really fun and creative, so I like that. Paco Rabanne, especially Fame and Phantom, atrocious. I see what's happening. It's atrocious. Then we have Orme, which I'd say I might hesitate to buy. Now, would I be interested in going and smelling an Orme fragrance? Of course, like they look really, really interesting. I love the way that they have color. I like their fonts, but there's just something kind of off-putting about the top. Like having a fragrance where it looks like there's like an orange peel, like an orange quarter on top. I just think it's just a little weird. So not my favorite. Dior, I think is super cute. I love the magnetic lids. I think the font is all very professional looking. I think they look really cute. So Yes. Lease, again, love a Lease fragrance. I have this one right here called Floating. I like the font. I like that they're kind of playful with the ball on the top. Not too much happening, but I think they're very elegant, which I like. Imaginary Authors, I don't own anything from them, but I like the fact that you turn it to the side. They all look like books. So not a love, but a like. Forever Mood from Jackie Aina. Again, not a love, but I do like them. But this one is very divisive because a lot of people think it looks cheap. I don't know why that might be. Maybe something about the colored glass. Next up we have Bottega Veneta, which are the new Bottega Veneta fragrances. These ones are, I thought were kind of ugly, but you know what? I'm gonna say put it in the Louvre. And I don't know if marketing got to me here. I will show you. I just got a fragrance from Bottega. So the fragrance is like this, where it's kind of bumpy on the sides, and this is blown glass. So you can see there's actually bubbles in the glass that makes it look kind of like carbonated water. There is Bottega Veneta inscribed in the middle here, and the top is made of cork. And it doesn't feel porous the way that cork usually is, but it feels really light like cork, which I like. And it slides on so smoothly. And then you have this heavy metal bottle. So if you are a texture or a sensory person, there's like so many different sensory things to touch and feel. I think it's really fun. And again, it's like blown glass, custom components, gonna be very expensive. And I've never thought of having it a stand for a fragrance. Very fun. I could see this being ugly to people, but I think it's really fun. Next up we have Glossier U, which I have the Glossier U Rev and Glossier U Dew. These are meant to be held in your right hand based on the thumbprint, but I'm left-handed, so I think these are fine. They're not super exciting, but they're fine. Also, yes, I will be posting a review of these soon. Okay, next up we have Kilian fragrances, which I think are super cute. I like the Kilian fragrances. They're good. Next up we have the new Valentino Anatomy of Dreams collection, which is the Valentino Privé. So it's actually hollow at the bottom. There's nothing here, but the way that the glass works makes it look like there's more color at the bottom, which I think is cool. There's one thing that puts me off this fragrance, and I like the fabric here. I like the fabric a lot. The one thing that puts me off is the fact that they manufactured a glass cap, which is one of the first of its kind. That also means it always feels cool when you grab it. It's definitely like a signifier of quality and luxury, but it squeaks. That's my only thing with it, is it squeaks. So not a love, but a like. Jean Paul Gaultier, generally, I'm not really a fan of the torsos. This is, I don't know, a lot of people like it. I don't know, generally not a fan. Oh, Daisy Wild. I'm gonna say put it in the Louvre. I really like the Daisy Wild bottle. I think it's super cute. Ariel Shoshana, a lot of people don't like this because it's major lid work, not a lot of bottom work, but I think it's kind of cute and I think it's fun, and like I don't really see things like that. Kind of reminds me of like sprinkles. I don't know why. Next up we have the Bulgari fragrances, which again, love Bulgari, but I used to think these were so ugly. Like I didn't go smell them for a really long time because I just thought the bottles were really, really ugly. But now I'm kind of obsessed. So I'm gonna say she cute. You know what? Not a love, but a like. I have mixed feelings about the colors. Next up we have Perfumer Head, which I really, really like their bottles. I don't know if I like would put it in the Louvre, but I just really, really like them. I think the bottles are so cool, and I might blind buy sometime. Atelier Premiere, not a love, but a like. They kind of give me Fugazi vibes. There's something about the font that I think is a little aggressive, the way that Fragrance du Bois is. You know what? I like the bottle, but some of the fragrances I really dislike, so I think I'm kind of projecting a bit. Cartier, I'm gonna say hesitate to buy because I think their bottles are really ugly, and I literally never ever smell Cartier fragrances because their bottles are just so ugly to me. MFK, I think they're cute. Like they're not like a love, but I think they're cute. They look expensive. They're fun. And I like the gold or the silver. It feels expensive. Next up we have Ex Nihilo, which I think is super cute. Again, super simple, but I like the details on the gold color. I love gold, and I love the sprayers on these. So a big fan of Ex Nihilo. So I'm gonna say she cute. This one is called Headspace, and they look like raw materials. And Sarah is not taking away nor like adding or really retracting to my experience, so I think it's good. And I like sensory how it feels. Juliet has a gun. I like their bottles. It's a little hard to get the tops off, and also when you get the box, it comes with this foam that has a really strong scent. And so when I think of Juliet Has a Gun fragrances, I think of the scent of the foam in the box, and I don't love the foam in the box, so I might hesitate to buy. Okay, not a love, but a like. I do like the packaging. Then finally we have Loewe, which I've never smelled anything from them. It's just kind of like meh. I feel like their fragrances don't look that expensive, so based on the price, might hesitate to buy. Now, that is my final ranking. It's kind of random looking back at it because like I do feel like there's some fragrances that I definitely like more than others visually, but I ranked them like this, so that's what I'm gonna say. So let me know what you guys think. Thank you so much for watching this video. I love you guys, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.